It sounds like an absolute nightmare for most of us, the idea of being in a
Panic
small,
attack.
confined space.
Panic
And
attacks.
underwater. Really? So, well, that's what I wanted to ask you is, are you claustrophobic? Did filming this help or did it make it worse?
I repeat, panic attacks.
My big guest on the show tonight stars in the new film 13 Lives. It's the incredible true story about a team of divers that rescued a Thai football team that were trapped in a cave. It is available to stream on Prime Video from Friday the 5th of August. Colin Farrell is on the show tonight. Oh my goodness. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Dev. How's it going, man?
Really, really well. Now, of course, this story really gripped all of us when it was happening a few years ago. Do you remember how you felt when you were watching this as a story in the news?
I mean, it was a huge moment when the divers found the kids alive within the cave. But then the issue was how to get them out.
Takes a certain kind of mindset for the deep cave diving.
Very, very dangerous.
12 boys and their coach are trapped in the flooded caves.
How many of you?
13.
13! They're all alive.
I remember the footage of that John took on the GoPro when him and Rick came upon the divers, or came upon the football team for the first time. And they had no idea that they'd still be alive. They were kind of, just before they found the boys alive, they had prepared themselves to find bodies in the water, to find floating bodies. You know, they didn't think, they thought by that stage the kids might have already perished. So when they found them and that footage went all around the world, that became very famous of them finding, counting the guys and being shocked themselves that they were all still alive. I remember that well. And then I remember the kind of long, arduous wait to see how they were going to get them out. Yeah, it was amazing to watch it unfold in real time.
It sounds like an absolute nightmare for most of us, the idea of being in a small, confined space.
Panic attacks.
Underwater. Really? So, well, that's what I wanted to ask you is, are you claustrophobic? Did filming this help or did it make it worse?
I repeat, panic attacks. Now, I mean, I know what it's like to have a panic attack above water. I can confirm I had panic attacks beneath. I mean, I had moments beneath the water where I could feel my head. And listen, it was as safe as they could make it. Totally. I mean, we weren't doing anything, there were safety divers everywhere. They had an amazing team of safety divers who, when they're not working in films, usually work in construction, are like doing dives under bridges, at the foundation of bridges and stuff like that, in zero visibility with comms, listening to what's happening on the surface. And they had some really, really experienced divers there to help us out. But at the end of the day, you're in water, and they built these extraordinary and really elaborate, and to the design of the actual cave, Tham Luang cave in Thailand, they built these sections of cave. And I think we had 4 or 5 sections, and some of the sections were 150 feet, 200 feet long. And there were these huge, big pools within this warehouse system. And we had 4 or 5, as I said, different caves. One section of the cave had the stalagmites and the stalactites. Some sections of caves were more bendy, twisty. Other sections, but look, there was we'd be at the side of the pool and they'd say, okay, to first position. And all of us would dive down, and you dive down about 10 feet and then you'd come to a hole in a wall. And in the hole in the wall would be the start of the Plaster Paris tunnel. And then you go in the hole in the wall, you get yourself into first position. And then, they had speakers under the water and you could kind of hear garbled directions on what to do, but it got confusing at times. And yeah, I wasn't, let the cat out of the bag, but I wasn't fully comfortable, shall we say.
The other really big thing that I loved when I found out about this were the divers that were rescuing these kids. They're mostly hobbyists, right? They were, for want of a better phrase, have regular jobs during the day, and they just so happened to be into cave diving. The character you play, John, is obviously like real life. How much did you find out about him before you started filming?
John was so generous with me, Dev. Look, it was all kind of, this film was all done during COVID, when COVID was kind of at a really violent stage of its existence, and so there was none of the travel that there might have usually been. I would have went to England. I would have sat with John. I would have flown to see him anywhere. But he made himself available at all times, and we spent quite a few hours. I don't know, it was a little bit like dating. We spent quite a bit of time on FaceTime getting to know each other. He is bar none one of the most decent and strikingly one of the most humble men I've ever met. And that was the thing that was really remarkable for me, selfishly, from the perspective I was coming from approaching the script and playing John, was how humble these guys were. They really, it's not an adrenaline thing what they do. Adrenaline is actually completely the opposite. You don't want to have your adrenaline present. You want to be calm. You want your breath to be calm. You want your system to slow down, so that you can have your wits about you and just maintain a kind of a balanced physiology while you're involved in cave diving, even if you're doing it just for yourself or a hobby. And then in this case, where the waters were so extreme, were so violent, the visibility was so bad, but they were just really humble. They weren't there for any glory. They were just there to lend a hand, to do what they could. And obviously, you know, they were, you know, there was 5 guys who were the main divers, but there was tens of divers, Thai Navy divers who laid line, who kind of set the scene and allowed the other guys to do what they did. But there was thousands of people. The whole mission, the whole job, which took place over 2 weeks, involved thousands of people lending a hand. You know, it was an extraordinary example of human beings coming together for a common purpose.
Colin, you're in such an amazing part of your career. You've shown so much versatility. You've been the hero. You've been several amazing villains, a brilliant comedy actor as well. What is that like stone unturned, that dream role that you're still aiming for? Have you been close?
You know, man, I honest to God, have no clue. I'm just really, I think I'm enjoying what I do more than ever, perhaps. And I think it's just a little bit, you know, it's a bit cheesy, but the older you get, the less, for me anyway, the older I get, the less I identify the specifics of my worth as a human being with the work I do as an actor. And so it kind of frees me up to kind of care more by caring less in a strange way.
I like that. Colin, thank you so much for being a guest on the show tonight.
All the best, man.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
This is Heart.